Okay, welcome to this class. This is the very first class in 2024 we are having at Akatsi, and it's an online class, not a live class, a video that is pre recorded. So, we will go straight to the agenda for the class. So, what we are doing today, we will be having a short recap of 2023, the things we've learned so far, and then we'll look at the courses and all that. So, the first thing I want to do is to wish all of you a happy new year. So, happy new year to all of you. I hope you had fun during the holiday. Yeah, so I wish you the very best in this year as we begin. So let's say more than half the first month is gone, and we have to start running for this year. So for last year, we learned a lot. We learned a lot last year. Last year we learned blogging. After you did some computer basic, we learned blogging, and then we started web design, and then you met graphic design. You've started basically, but for whiteboard animation or videography, with the information I have, you couldn't start yet, which you'll be starting this year as well. Then for the business-based courses, digital marketing, you've advanced in it. Digital product creation, basically you can create some digital products, which will be advancing it this year. Freelancing, we know what freelancing is, and we'll be delving into more practical application this new year. Viral marketing, you know what it is. Content marketing. Then e-business, you had an introduction, and then affiliate or CPA marketing. So at the end of the day, you had some idea about all the courses, and some of them we've laid a very good foundation in them, and then we'll be building up on that foundation this year with a lot of practical applications. So last year too, we look at the course application, which you carry series of activities, and then you had access to this document on the screen, which talk about the course application description, the aims, and then the objectives, the goals, and then the target audience, which is you. So this is for you. And then we took some assignments. So I believe your neat blog is ready, and then you are making progress with posting on it and all that. Then you are creating content using the SEO tips we were taught. That means SEO tips with regards to Blogger. For now, it's Blogger. We have now started web design, and then we'll be starting WordPress, which also have a kind of big different application of SEO. So that is it. The monetization of the blog, we spoke about yo.fun. We spoke about yo.fun, and then we have to do the exchange followers, and then get all the required qualifications. So as you come back now, the yo.fun tax, we should complete it by next week. So I also have created series of them. so that we can use it to get to increase the chances of getting accounts. So I will be sharing the series of yo.fan accounts I created, and then I'll and you all follow. The account I've created have some number of followers already, so you all follow, and then we reach the 50, and your own to share it on the pages, the Telegram groups, so that we can all follow each other, and then we get approved quickly. Then we start working on the monetization as part of the application. So we'll be using AdSense, and then we'll be playing along with highest paying AdSense keywords, and then getting traffic. And then freelancing, we'll be creating a lot of freelancing products, which I gave you some assignments. I'll be sharing some freelancing gig titles I've generated, and I'll be sharing it on the pages. Then product, we'll be coming up with some ebooks and co that we will be building this year. So keep that in mind. So the activities stated in the course application, you have to review them and make sure that you explore all of them. So this should be your manual. Do what you have learned, and then work out for results. So that should be your target this year. This is going to be a very short class because this is the first one. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, we've started web design last year, so I want to do a quick recap of the things we learned. Then you revise it. Make sure you read the web design handouts, and then refresh your mind of the various things you've learned as we enter the practical. So this class is more of theory than practical. So with web design last year, we had some introduction, theoretical based introduction, and we learned a lot of things about web design. So the first class we had, we look at some web design terminologies, what web design is. We differentiate between web design and web development. We define what a domain name is. We list the different types of domain name extensions. We look at how to register a domain name with a name registrar, like the Namecheap, GoDaddy. We look at even the business side. We look and know what web hosting is. So right now we know what a web hosting is with all the technical explanations. We learn how we can identify the different types of web hosting, like the shared, the VPS or the VDS, the dedicated server, and all that. And then we know the building blocks of a web page, and then we identify and draw a basic web page layout. So okay, so we look at the history of web design, which I'll urge you to go and then read through and then refresh your mind. So we look at Tim Berners-Lee, who proposed to create a global hypertext project, which later became known as World Wide Web, WWW, which we are all using as part of the history. Then the definition of web design, we look at it as it is seen on the screen. So this is a quick recap, which I urge you to go and read your handout and then refresh your memory. And then we look at some web design terminology like the 404, accessibility, caching, call to action, cookies, DNS, domain, registrar, hosting, and then all that. So we look at all this in our previous classes, and it is your responsibility to go and then revise it before the next class tomorrow. Then we look at the difference between web design and web development. And then more or less web design, you don't code, you leverage on the existing work of someone, like the template someone developed, the CMS someone developed, you leverage on it to come up with any kind of website. Though some basic coding might be needed for advanced web designers, but it's not really the case for web design. By web development, you code, you are a developer, you come up with template ideas and then you develop it for web designers to use. So you are a web designer. After this course, you are not a web developer. All right. Then we look at the different types of websites: magazine website, e-commerce website, blogs, portfolio website, landing pages. When we're learning blogging, we said a blog is a type of website that is regularly updated and posts are arranged in reverse chronological order. So a blog is just a type of website. So when we are learning web design using WordPress CMS, we don't have a separate course for blogging or WordPress blogging. So you understand the concept of blogging, which we said the blogging has to do with the content creation process. So once you are learning web design with WordPress, you are learning how to develop a blog as a type of website. We look at portfolio websites, we look at landing pages, social media website, directory and contact pages, and all that. And then we look at domain names. We know what a domain name is, like coffee.com. And then we look at the TDS and what it stands for. So all this need to be revised. If you don't, you will forget. So this class is to urge you to read. So after this class, you should sit down, spend some 1 hour revising the web design content, the handout given to you, so that you can refresh your mind of everything. We look at how the domain names work. We look at the IP. That is long and we can't keep it in our mind. Before technology advance, we assign a name to the IP. Then we talk about top level domains like the .com, .org, .net, and others. Sorry. So types of domain available, we look at them, and then we look at top level domain names, which is the .com, .net and co, and we look at the country code like .com.gh or .ng.us and all the generic top domain, the second level domains, and then third level, which you should revise because we are coming to apply them starting from tomorrow. Then we look at web hosting, which we look at it in detail, the features and all that. I log into a web hosting account, and then I said when you buy web hosting, all they give you is a login. You don't carry anything physical. And we look at the hosting having a lot of features here as displayed on the screen. Then we look at type: shared hosting, dedicated, VPS, reseller, and I took my time to explain this in class. And all these are explained in your handout as well. And then setting up a web hosting, we look at it. You buy it from Namecheap or GoDaddy or HostGator and the others. Then in model 4, we look at layout of a website, the colors, what the colors mean, so that when you are designing a website for a purpose, you can use colors to communicate the message. For instance, when you are developing a website for a financial institution that helps people in making money, purple can be a good color which shows luxury, riches, ambition and co. Orange, excitement, fun and co. So these things you should reference them in your choice of colors. If you can memorize them, fine. If you can't, you should always have it in mind to refer to them always when choosing colors. You just don't stand up and go and use any color. You have to know what color you are using. Then we look at the font. Having a website, some of you like so much stylish fonts which some people cannot read. If people go to your website and then the font cannot, it's not clear, people want simplicity, so use clear font. And then you can also use tools to check fonts that can complement your design. And we look at the Canva font combinations or combinator as a tool you can use. So we'll be using this tool a lot in our web design. So this is an example of font combination which I will say with this by observation it makes sense, but for now you cannot tell. Then we look at the graphic elements that you use in your web design or in your website as well. Then we look at the text, images, video, audio as part of website. So that's the first slide we used last year for web design. And in the second slide, we look at identifying the visual element of a website, understand the meaning of design, colors, and their presentation. Choose accurate color palette. Did we do this? Okay, so this is just, yeah, we did this. So you have to go back. So there are 5 basic elements of a website: the layout, the color, the graphics and fonts, and then the content. So we look at the 5 basic elements of every website. Number 1 is the layout, the color, the graphics of fonts, and then the content. So as a web designer, these are the 5 things you are actually doing. These are the 5 things. These 2 are separate, but they are at the same level. The graphics and then the font. So we look at the layout like this, which we have the header section. So this is a typical example of a layout, but this is not all there is. There are different kind of layout, different arrangement and code. So this is the header section. This is the section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, and then the footer section. You can have several sections of a website layout. And when you see this website, you are seeing layout, you are seeing image, text, which is the content, you are interacting with a font, you are interacting with colors. So as a web designer, this is what you actually do. You use the 5 elements to communicate your message in an appealing way. So this one too, we have header section. Section 1 has 3 rows. So this is section 1 having 3 rows. Section 2 has 3 rows, 4 columns. So you should pay attention to this as explained in class. Then we have the text element, which is the element of, as part of the element of the website, you have text that people read. And then you have icon and text elements. So this is an icon, which is an image. And then you have media and text element. This can be video. Then text element again. So we are looking at the layout of a website site. Okay, so class activity: practice identifying web page layout and draw them as illustrations. So just challenge: using Photoshop, design a UI, user interface, using the Emperor's Academy website as a reference. So this is it. Today is Wednesday. I'm taking it on Friday. So using emperorsacademy.com, emperorsacademy.com website as a guide. The site is loading slow. Okay, so let the site be loading. Okay, so using this as a guide, you are using emperorsacademy.com as a guide. So what you are doing is that you are going to use Photoshop. Right now you have been introduced to Photoshop. You are going to use Photoshop to design a UI, user interface, like the front page. So this is UI, user interface, where users interact with. So this is the user interface of emperorsacademy.com. So you are going to use Photoshop that you learn to design a user interface. You can design it like this. So there's an image. You include the various layouts and you label them like the header and co, as in this image. So that is your assignment, and you are submitting it in 1 week. So next week Wednesday, I'll be taking the assignment. You can send it to impactgh@gmail.com as an attachment. I'll check it. It's just an image, a basic image, so that you can have a feel of website layout. So basically, that is it. And we look at the colors. So the colors, the same thing. So you go and revise the colors. So the colors, you are going to review 5 different, another activity for the colors. You are going to review 5 different websites with focus on color combination used on the website. Pay attention to patterns and color shades. So this one, I'll be assisting you in class when we meet physically. Hopefully next week we'll meet physically to do this. We'll pay attention to 5 website colors, and then we'll pay attention to the content, what they do. So I will end today's class here. Tomorrow we'll look at web color. Colors have code. We have color hex. We have color hex like this, which you'll be paying attention to starting from tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll look at colors more into details, and when you are developing websites, when you are interacting with HTML. Right now you have interacted with HTML on Blogger. You are able to edit a template on Blogger, but you can actually edit every color of the templates. But we've not taught that yet. So we'll be looking at colors in details and delve deep into the web design. So tomorrow class, still more theories. Then the subsequent ones will lay a strong foundation for intensive practical. So don't miss class. And this is the end of today's tutorial. Thank you very much.